the sun claims that it has power over the moon, let it shine in the night. Central African proverb. I think as I read this and as I absorbed it, that sometimes we say, and I say, that I have power over my life and over myself. And so I have power over the moon and all the other things. But when it's dark and I'm lost, I am still shining. Even if it's night, I'm still there. My authenticity and who I am is still there.
If the sun claims that it's got power over the moon, then let it shine at night. What I do after 40 is motivate hope. The world is so much in need of hope that it is scary. So we are grappling with everything. There are many problems, there are many issues. We are going into the rat race, doing this, doing that. When you really think about it in retrospect, 20 years ago, there was much more hope than there is today. If you truly think you are the sun, and if you haven't thought of yourself as the sun, then I urge that you do. But the sun in what? I'm not talking about your regular job. It could be your regular job. But the ones that keep you awake at night and you're like, okay, fine. Where do we change this? It's about motivating hope. At some point when you really think and reflect on purpose, you understand that it's deeper than the pay slip. So what is it that your purpose is going to be? Mine is about marketing hope. We are so much in the family, in relationships, across board, across religions, across races, across... We all claim to have the biggest papers. We are doctors with PhDs, technology we've innovated, but we don't know how to deal. I don't know how to touch you as a human being and just touch you and just be. I don't know. But technology is there. So when I look at it in retrospect, I look at my children 20 years from now. What kind of world are they going to live in? How do we teach them to live there, to actually still love within the heat?
No matter how many times you wash a goat, it will still smell like a goat. African proverb.
What does that make you think of?
A goat is only the goat.
Yes, the goat will always be a goat. They are the characters that make a goat that will never change. So what I need to do from where I sit is to be able to be a lot more discerning, be a lot more understanding, be a lot more appreciative, look at the good qualities that I want to pick out of that goat and live with it, okay? If any, all right? If it's the meat, if it's the milk, but it will still remain a goat. Nothing is going to change out of it. It's my perception, how I take it.
You can sanitize it as much as you want, but it's not going to change. You can treat the symptoms, but really, unless you reach the root, the situation is not going to change. Yeah.
I take it personally that there are many times you want to clean up the goat so it doesn't smell. So I ask myself, am I still smelling like a goat? It's a personal initiative. It's a personal journey, in my view, that many times there are things that you want to discard and you still can't discard. Many times there are perceptions against friends, against people, against that you want to discard. But you find you're so born in it, like you will always still smell of those perceptions. So what challenge does it give to you? And all of you, in my view, are right in your assessment of that proverb. I ask people all the time, when we talk about the smelling goat, whether a goat smell is nice or bad. The point that this brings out, because it calls you to have a certain consciousness about your values, about your conduct, about your thinking, that sometimes you might also encounter a goat. You are also a different breed of goat. And this goat is here. And the smell from this goat is actually stronger than your smell. And you're like, these two goats just can't stay together. So what do you do with this goat who sometimes you actually have to deal with and work with? This proverb for me is about asking ourselves about just how we take each other as well. We are goats of different breeds. Sometimes we cope, sometimes we don't. Sometimes you can love goat meat, sometimes not. It's about just reflecting and looking within. Melissa, we want to bring out quite a bit of the Pan-Africanist, feminist ideologies to push across our work. Pan-Africanist in the essence that we want our African women to actually be grounded into who they are. And how we ground it, we talk about the power of the placenta. The placenta is what defines African women, joins them, and I will tell you why. Because all of us were once connected to a placenta before you were born. Yeah. So some women who are not in the childbearing path say, oh, but I'm not. No, you were once connected to a placenta. Yeah. Without the placenta, you wouldn't be here. Now, on the other hand, we give life through the placenta. Many African women grapple with, but how can we be the same? We're in different sub-regions, 5 of them in the continent. We say start from the placenta. But then again, we push the power of the placenta for Africans because all African tribes have a saying about where the placenta was buried. Yeah. But it's there. So there's a lot of the women's history that's buried down there that should help us define how we move and what we do. So just reading a little bit of it so that we know where we are grounded. Believe me, I want you to investigate the placenta.
Yeah. The proverb I have says, when there is no enemy within, the enemies outside cannot hurt you.
I think the point is just to really interrogate what enemy is within so that you're able to step outside. I think we allow ourselves to be intertwined in some enmity within. That's not good for us. I am trying my best so much not to allow myself to be grabbed by that. If we allow somebody else to define our happiness, that's an enemy within.
If you want to move mountains tomorrow, you must start by lifting stones today. It's an African proverb. The need to plan, to know that nothing, we know sometimes we talk about things happening by chance, but really at a certain point in life, you're better off if you've been planning. Whether it's a big assignment you have, if you want to do it well, you must start small, one step at a time.
And sometimes the stones can be very small. If you want to move mountains, you start with moving the small stones. Is that sometimes we look at things and you actually cancel yourself before you start. Lily, you look at it to disqualify yourself. Before you even start, Helen, we don't redefine any will. The thing is that the situation is now. How do you want to do it differently so it pushes change? And you know, sometimes you're pushing and thinking, I'm the one who's bringing this idea. It was actually done at some point before you came into being. The power of women cannot be underestimated. Not at all. It just cannot be underestimated. I think the day we know that from our homes, out to the streets, in the places where we work, we are able to galvanize it for change. But we have to think really critically about what it is we want to galvanize for change. When you bow by your mother's feet, for her to put her hands on your head, this is the woman who should have put her hips like this when you're being born and stopped you from being. So you should look into yourself and know what is the power that you have for yourself as a woman and how do you rise about it, respectively, to build and not to destroy. To build and not to destroy. I think that's extremely important. Chin up. Hashtag chin up. Because what we reckon is that women don't chin up as often as they should. Women walk into a room and say, my name is... You walk into a meeting and you're whispering. You say, men walk into a room like this. Is somebody sitting there? And they sit. We got to learn how to chin up in many ways. We say this as a strategy to encourage people so that women can know, because our cultures and socioeconomic, the way we are brought up, women were supposed to be seen, not to be heard, which is kind of hard for big mouths like myself. So when women are supposed to be seen, not to be heard, what does it mean to you as a woman trying to just live to your full potential? I urge you to chin up. I don't know what space you're chinning up on. It could be the meeting in the boardroom. Please do not introduce yourself with words whispered inside your sweater. If you're talking and people say, sorry, we can't hear you, and you're in the same boardroom, you're failing. Practice in front of a mirror and speak louder. Lift your voice and chin up. Practice it, because you have nothing to apologize for. You have every right to be there. But women speak as if they're apologizing. Yeah, sorry, my name is Mildred. It's good. Why are you apologizing? You're saying sorry without saying I'm sorry. So we try to make women understand that this is your space. If you are in a space where you need to affirm, then affirm it. One of the rule of thumb that I tell my team when you're talking to the young people, even if you don't know anything and you need to ask a stupid question, ask the stupid question intelligently.